Hello everyone. So I know I'm not really the kind of person you'd expect to talk about this. I'm not really certain I'm not really sure how to talk about this. I'm not really sure there's a specifically good way to talk about this to mention such a terrible terrorist act, which I can't believe a lot of people do not dare to call it that because it's what it is. It is straight up assassin. It is a political assassination. And first of all, I'd like to say that I am French. I am not at all an American. I do not have any American blood within my veins. I haven't ever been to NA or the United States in general, nor have I ever been to Canada as well. There you go. I'm not an American, although I am probably a lot more patriotic than a lot of you are of America, of the great United States, which I deeply respect, because for one, they helped France throughout the war, throughout the war with the Nazis, which without them we would have obviously lost, right? And and for that reason specifically, I feel a close bond with a lot of Americans, and also because I feel like a lot of not a lot, most Americans resonate with my values a lot more than the French people do, because a lot of Americans are actually, even though I'm not religious, I'm not a Christian. Um, I'm agnostic though. I'm not sure. I do sort of believe in a higher power, but I wish there was a higher power. I'm not sure if there is. I have no answer to that, nor does anyone. Um, but like I really wish there is. I hope that there is a higher power, because I would very much like to go to heaven one day and meet all the people that I cherish and that I cherished, and all the people that I value, and that I think were great assets to the world's advances. I guess I'm not really sure. Anyway, there you go. I mean, you probably do not know this because you do not know who I am, because I'm French again, and I make silly videos and silly guides for a pretty empty video game, and and as you can see by my appearance, I'm not doing too well. I'm not really taking care of myself, because recently I've been through a lot. I've been through a broken engagement very recently, and and I've might seem silly as well, but I've lost my last and only remaining pet, which was my 16-year-old cat that I incinerated a few weeks ago, and now he's gone. The only things that I have remaining for myself are the roof over my head that I'm not paying for, my very overwhelmed and burnt out mom, and my lonely father that lives away from me. That's very much the only things that I've got going on for myself. I've lost all passion with and for anything, along with my broken engagement. And the this type of news just, it hits the nail right on the head, and it just closes, it just buries me deep down into the coffin, all the way 6 feet down. It's just the little teardrop that is just too much. And yeah, I am a conservative, because again, I do feel like a lot of American values resonate with me a lot more than French ones do, because I don't recognize my country anymore. I Most of you know, if you are from the US or even from Australia, because I do know that a lot of Australians are very conservative and very thoughtful of what's going on in NA right now, and in France as well, and in Germany too. It's crazy how there's a shitload of people that are very thoughtful in Australia. Like I'm very thankful that these people exist. I mean, I know it's probably not like everyone, but it's a democracy, and like there's a lot of people that can think differently, and it's fine. And I think we should fight for that. We should fight for the freedom to think differently and to voice your opinion. And I like that I truly love that the first two amendments are basically what this is, and basically what Charlie died for. That and God, I guess, because that's what he believed in the most, and that's what he wants to be remembered for. And how do I say this? I'm not really sure. I guess I just I'm just deeply. I wish I had an American flag to hang outside, just the way. Um, I'm not really sure what the way you're supposed, like how you're supposed to hang the flag whenever whenever the country is mourning someone, or like is facing a terrorist attack or a tragedy or something. I'm not really sure how you. I know you're supposed to like slightly tilt down the flag, right? Um, However, I do not have an American flag, nor do I even have a French one, because in France, branding, not branding, showing off and hanging a flag of your own country is labeled as, um, you're labeled instantly as a white supremacist and a racist, and whatever else you want to think, whatever else ends up with ist or phobe. And yeah, there you go. I'm in that state now where I'm in that state of mind where everyone in the Western world is just like so focused on themselves, so selfish. Um, the West in general has become such an individual. Like it's all about me. It's individualism, right at its peak. That's what the Western world does, and eventually it will come across the globe and get to the Eastern world as well, because it this kind of stuff wasn't there in France 20 years ago when I was just born. I'm 23, by the way. In 1 month I'm 23. I'm pretty young, and I feel extremely old. I feel like I wasn't born really in the right place in the right time. And I would like to say that there's plenty, not plenty maybe, but like I know there's lots of conservatives around the world that do appreciate that a lot of people in NA are still fighting for this, and I like the, I guess you could call it irony. A lot of people say that the irony in Charlie Kirk's death or assassination, dare I say, um, a lot of people say that the irony within this tragic event is more that it was pro guns, and that he died by gun. I wouldn't say that. I would say the irony in this is that we're not too sure about it just yet, but we haven't really checked the weapons yet because we don't have the public data, right? It's kind of private for now. They're actually investigating on all this, and I'm following the stories as it happens. And they have found the suspect, the guy that is on the photo, and he does look a lot like him. I guess all you need to find is the shirt, and that's pretty much it, I guess. And then you're sure you're sure that it's the guy. And then I guess the real irony for this is that he shot Charlie Kirk with a gun that most of the left just hates. This man, I'm not sure. Maybe he is a leftist and he's pro guns. You know, whatever. What do I know? I don't fucking know. Maybe he is, but I don't. I have little my pinky tells me that that it's not the case. That bro probably hates guns and believes that it's wrong. And I know for a fact that guns are not specifically just pew pews, right? They're more a symbol of freedom because of the First Amendment and the fact that the Second Amendment is basically a protection, uh, a a way to make sure that uh, this First Amendment remains, even if the state even if the state protection, even if the country is no longer able to protect citizens. I guess that's what really the Second Amendment does. At least it is what it has evolved into. I know originally the Second Amendment wasn't for this, but it has evolved into this meaning of protecting yourself and protecting your family in cases of extreme emergency whenever the state couldn't protect you anymore, or in case of an invasion, or in case of drafting, which is what it was usually originally written for, which was for drafting, I believe. Everyone had the right to bear a gun, even if they were a citizen, because they could be drafted and they had the right to bring their own weapon. I believe that's what it was. I'm not too sure. I'm not a big fan of history, and I'm not American again, but I believe that's what it is. And I find it extremely ironic that it is probably what happened. It is probably just a guy that is against the Second Amendment and then just went, I don't like guns. This guy doesn't like trans, and I'm a trans because I mean I don't know if he's a trans, but I know he's a trans activist. And bro just killed him. Bro just waited for the right moment to just make a scene, to just make it like some sort of absolute cinema or something like that, because he waited the right time to talk about uh, mass shootings. He waited that specific time to mention that, to shoot. And I'm pretty sure the shot was missed because originally I believe Bro was probably aiming for the bulletproof vests, but it might have shifted a little bit up because I do not believe from that range, with the weapons that we've seen so far, if they are in fact the murder weapons, I do not genuinely believe that this dude was accurate enough to hit the target specifically in the neck, in the worst specific spot that Bro could have aimed for to kill someone. He aimed at one of the most vital spots on the entire human body. And it's not that he aimed at it, it's just coincidentally drops there. From that range, I don't believe that's intentional, but that doesn't really matter. It doesn't change the fact that even if it was directed at the fucking bulletproof vests, it's still an assassination. Even if he hadn't died, it would still be an assassination attempt, and it is still proving Charlie's point right. It is still like the fact that in France right now, even in NA, obviously, right, because like a lot of leftists and right wingers as well. Even Charles Spiralo, I've seen a few posts and videos talk about it. I've seen a lot of videos talk about it, even leftists, which I'm very happy about. But even Charles Spiralo and Hassan, even Hassan, bro, was straight up shocked about it. Like, it's bad when even these two get shocked and and are like, that is not okay. That is going too far, and that's not fine. These two reacting this way should tell you that what's happening right now in social media is just not normal. We have normalized violence so badly. It's actually insane. I would go heavily into a rant about how society has evolved right now and about all that, which I did on my French version of this video. I have a lot of pictures to show you, but I won't show them. I have a lot of videos to show you. I won't show them because you probably have heard it all. And also, you should probably not witness the absolute atrocity that these images were. Not to mention, myself included, some people did watch the footage, just to realize how violent it is, just to take it all in. Because as you could probably imagine, and rightfully so, I'm not someone that really goes out too much, that really talks with a lot of people. I'm not. I'm pretty. Even though I'm pretty conservative, I'm also pretty shy, pretty much an introvert as well, and I'm not too masculine. As in, I resemble a lot Jordan Peterson. As in, he's a very compassionate dude, and it is in fact a very feminine trait. I'm not saying men can't have compassion, but I might have a little bit too much. I don't know. I just don't really know. It feels like this hit me a little too hard compared to everyone else. And yeah, I've been crying. I've legit been crying for the past few nights. I mean, few nights. For the past 2 nights, I've been crying. Today as well, obviously. I don't really ever sleep since my broken engagement, and and yeah, that just kind of hit me a little too hard. And I sincerely hope that a lot of people do feel like it the way I am. I really do, because as of right now, there seems to be so little amount of people that are French or anything else other than American. There seems to be so few people that care about this, and that are shocked about this. I just can't. Legit, when I've been told these news, I was like, bro, that's gotta be fake. That is someone telling that, oh, well, you see, Johnny Depp has been killed, Chris Pratt has been assassinated, this kind of stuff, you know? There's these fake news everywhere and 24/7. I was like, dude, I know this guy's hated upon quite often, and that's probably fake. And then I've seen a few posts, and I was like, bro, that's actually not. That's actually, oh my god. And I would like to mention that I appreciate a few people for talking about this, especially in France. I might note them down in the description or something. I might mention a bunch of people's names. I might link a few videos, like for example the rap clip of Thomas McDonald's, and I deeply I feel deeply and truly sorry for his widow, and for his two beautiful poor little kids that will get to grow without their parents, which without their father, I guess. Sorry, even though they clearly loved their father, especially the older little girl, right? She was an absolute ray of sunshine. The only few times we've seen her on camera, and it's tragic that people just laugh at it like that. I just can't believe that people would just can't just put themselves in the same place and imagine themselves losing their husband, their wife, their parents. I just can't. Like I don't really understand how we can be so unaffected by this. And I've been called so many things recently just by saying we are Charlie, which, if you know a little bit about France's recent history, you know that Charlie is a reference to a journal that talked about uh, there has been terrorism linked to another name named Charlie, right? And Charlie Kirk's death resonates with a lot of French people, specifically for that reason, I believe. And yeah, I don't really know what to mention other than that. I just wish I wasn't as lonely anymore. I know a lot of people are in pain. I know a lot of men and women are in pain. I kind of have lost faith in women, as in, I'm not really sure that there is a lot of even men, but like mostly women nowadays, because there's so much promiscuity and so much selfishness, and then everyone just realizes their mistakes. Even men, again, it's mostly an education thing more than a personal issue, because there's so much indoctrination, right? And within the education system itself, and and the politically um um not accurate, but the politically um good good I don't really know how to say this, the 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 good side of things, I guess, the right side of the politics. By right I mean left, because they consider themselves the holy precious defenders of life, but then the only atrocities are always committed by the left. And I'm not necessarily agreeing with a lot of points from the right wing parties over in various countries. But I also believe, just like Charlie Kirk did, that we are no longer talking, and that a dialogue needs to be held in place somewhere, everywhere in every country. We need to talk about these things, about these subjects. We need to do something. And it saddens me that that people could label me or Charlie. Not me. I don't give a shit anymore because I've lost so much. I don't really care about it anymore. It just kind of disappoints me. But knowing that people in France specifically labeled Charlie Kirk a Nazi or compared him a Nazi, or I've literally seen a Twitter post with someone saying, "Oh, we've lost a husband. We've lost a loving husband and a proud father and a defender of this freedom of speech." You know, all that in French. And some woman answered, I know I know it was a woman because I believe it was a streamer, a leftist streamer from the Z event, which, by the way, protects a bunch of these people that dance upon the death of Charlie Kirk. And there's that woman that just sent a picture of Hitler and kids and a woman, and she said, yeah, Hitler also liked his family. He was also a loving husband. I mean, she didn't really say that. I don't remember what she said, but you know, it was along those lines. And I'm like, bro, you're really comparing. You're really putting side to side a guy that is mentally insane, completely deranged, and is responsible for the killing of millions upon millions, to a random, very kind, probably if not the absolute most open-minded, softest, um, conservative personality in the whole entire planet. And you're really putting the two together and just saying, yeah, these look alike. Like, it just makes no sense to me that someone like this could be labeled in such horrific ways. And I don't really know what it is. I am not sure if I believe it is an educational issue. Um, because like people use the word fascist, the word Nazi, a bunch of different words, the words racists. I've seen some guy in France. He's an absolute clown, by the way. Everyone just clowns on him. Thing is, he makes millions of bucks with that because he just knows it brings a lot of money and a lot of attention. The real issue is some people agree with him, but the bro said something like, "Okay, I'm not gonna mourn him just because I didn't appreciate, I didn't respect the man during his time alive. Why now that he's dead would it be otherwise?" And and he said, if you don't know who Charlie Kirk was, he was a misogynist, a an anti-trans, a racist, an anti-Semite, which, huh? It actually makes no sense because even the prime minister of Israel actually mentioned his name and was like very much touched by this because he was also supposed to visit Israel next week, I believe, or something like that. And I don't know, man. A lot of people just call him names and just even in death, you can't respect someone's memory, and you just have to invent stuff and make stuff up about someone. It just drives me insane. And I keep getting insulted 24/7. I could show you a few comments. All I keep saying is, we've lost someone, a father and a husband and a defender of freedom of speech, and someone that wanted to reach to the other side and talk. And we've lost that. We are Charlie and rest in peace. That's the things that I've been saying around a bunch. And I've been either censored, straight up comments deleted, or I've just been insulted. Granted, sometimes these comments were not in the appropriate places, but all I've said in these specific inappropriate places were rest in peace, Charlie. Or we are Charlie. I didn't say anything political. I just said rest in peace. That's all I did. And this was instantly labeled political. And I'm like, bro, it's someone's death. How is it political? It's someone's assassination. Okay, if you want to go there, yes, it is political. But if you just want to talk about someone's death, then you shouldn't be censored. And I'm 100% sure the other way around, if it was George Floyd, who by the way was on fence and had a criminal record, which Charlie Kirk didn't have. I'm not saying George Floyd was supposed to die. Obviously, no one deserves to die except rapists and absolute mass murderers like this guy. And that's the only people that should be awarded with death, I guess. Only these people, but like the rest, nobody, no one should die, right? But still, you can't really compare George Floyd and Charlie Kirk, and yet that's what people do. And yet, I'm sure 100% Charlie Kirk has been. I haven't really followed by then what really happened, but I do believe that even in gaming spheres, we were talking about George Floyd, and there has been in some games some communities assembling and making events and stuff about George Floyd. I'm like, bruh, you're telling me this guy gets it because he's black, because he's a minority, because he had issues. Okay, which I guess it makes sense. Sure, why not? But then Charlie Kirk, who didn't do any of that, all he wanted to do was reach around, talk to someone else, try to convince people, go where people literally go specifically in the spot where people learned and educated themselves just to get their opinion and argue with them and see what they'd believe. And every time he'd argue, he wouldn't be aggressive. He would just be asking questions. He would just be kind and yes, maybe there's a lot of mockery online, and I guess a lot of people on these campuses have been harassed. I imagine, which is absolutely fucking tragic. Please don't do that ever, because that doesn't really serve the cause, right? And I'm sure that happened a lot, right? I'm sure that happened plenty, but it shouldn't. It's not a reason to just get aggressive and just mock someone's death because it's not his fault. Just wanted to talk with people, and him defending freedom of speech, him saying we're not talking enough, him saying I'm worried for the future, him saying it's always the minorities, him saying like a few seconds before his death, him saying, you know how many mass shootings there has been in the US, or maybe it's the grandpa's question. I'm not really sure which way it was. Whichever way, they were talking about it, and as soon as the subject comes up, he just gets murdered. That doesn't make any sense. And I get that I shouldn't be affected by this much. And I don't give a shit. I'm a troll content creator. I'm not a political guy. I haven't finished my studies. I've left a lot of stuff. I have abandoned a lot of stuff. All for one woman to just to give everything to one woman. She just left. I've just lost everything. I have to mourn her, and then I have to mourn my cat weeks, days later, and then this comes up, and then I'm mourning, I'm crying, I'm just overflown with emotions. I'm doing my best not to show too much, but also I'm doing my best to try and talk about it, just to not hide my pain, because we are constantly told these days to just talk about pain and open up. But whenever I do, I just get told to man up, to just move on, to have fun, to rebuild, to focus on myself, to to um to get over it. I'm told it's not my country. I'm told uh he liked guns. It's his fault. He spread hate. It's his fault. He's a fascist. It's his fault. He deserved it. It's like, what am I supposed to do here? What am I supposed to say? Am I just supposed to move on? Am I just supposed to be happy? To just Am I supposed to smile? Am I just supposed to, what am I supposed to do? There's days where I just straight up don't feel like living anymore. And by days I mean every single day of the week for the past 2 months. Not even two, it's been like 5 months. Oh my god, I'm grieving for a long time. And it's for like these past 5 months, I've been in pain. I've been constantly crying from day to day, night to night. And I've been there are nights where I'm walking 5 hours throughout the street. I'm living in basically the middle of nowhere. There's no one crossing by. There's no cars. There's just a few little streets in the middle of not the woods, but basically. And there's nights where I just do this and I come home and I'm crying, and then I'm all drained, out of passion, out of joy, out of any feeling except pain and anger. And then I'm asked, why are you feeling like this? Well, if you're getting sad over anything that happens, then you're not gonna get over anything. You just can't live like this. And I do agree. But also, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to just be different? Am I supposed to just, I don't really know. I'm just kind of done. I don't really have any money. Again, I haven't said it, but yeah, I barely have any money to live. Thank God I have my parents that help me and that are also struggling and also are soon to be retired. And I haven't found work in 6 fucking years because I'm in the middle of nowhere. And also I'm living on $50 a month to just feed myself. I have my engagement ring over there that I do not fucking know what to do of. I don't want to get rid of it. I don't know what to do about it. Everything reminds me of pain. Everything reminds me of my ex. Everything reminds me of what's happening outside. Every single fucking day of the week, every single minute of the day, every single time there's a news that pops up, what is about? It's about someone that gets murdered. It's either Irina, the Ukrainian model refugee. It's who, by the way, is getting harassed after death because they're actively defending the black dude because he's black, because he's a minority. Bro said something about white girl or something like that just after stabbing her. The Charlie Kirk murder in front of his fucking child. No, children as well, I believe. I believe the younger one was there as well with his wife. They all three witnessed the cold-hearted murder of their husband and father in front of over 3,000 people, just like that, and people just react like it's nothing. People have normalized violence so badly that it's become rude to just even in the European Assembly, right? I believe they wanted to have a minute of silence, right? To mourn and pray, maybe. And I heard some Italian or some Spanish. I heard some English as well, probably some German too, of people just disagreeing and just going, "No, we don't want any moments of silence. He doesn't deserve it." Even in I believe it's Congress. I'm not sure where. or I don't. Maybe it is the Supreme Court. I'm not really sure where that happened, but they wanted to make a minute of silence. They made one happen, and then after that, the I guess the president of the assembly. I'm not sure what the guy what you named the this role. The dude that just stood up and went, okay, could we have a little bit of an additional minute to have a prayer now for Charlie's passing? And some lady in the back just started screaming, "No!" Like, what the? Who are you to just deny that? Who are you? Who are you to just deny someone's pain and someone's mourning? Everyone knew Charlie. Everyone liked him. Even people that disagreed with him, people liked him. He was kind. He was nice. He was known everywhere. By the way, without him, Trump wouldn't be elected. Whether you like Trump or not, like, it's undeniable that from the various news that I see every day from France, from both the right wing and the left wing outlet in NA, it's obvious that Trump is making some very powerful, good impact on his country, but yet no one seems to really talk about it, which I don't really like. Okay, whatever. It's not my country. I guess it's none of my business. But what really matters is um, how even he wants to mourn him, and it's an insult that I mean, people are not happy, that people are disagreeing with that. He simply asked, he asked politely, he requested that everyone lowers their flag if they had one, which I'm assuming most American citizens do, hopefully, to lower the flag, uh, however much degree, right? Which is like a sad flag, right? Which basically uh, to the side, and no one seems to really like this. No one really seems to want to do that. And I'd like to believe that Charlie left a martyr because he did. Because quite frankly, he died proving his own point. He died fighting what he believed for, which was free speech, which was also communication. He died defending that. His only fault in this is being too nice and believing that some people are ready to debate with him. Some people are ready to get to be talked with. And I know this is harsh, but it's the harsh reality that we live in today. Some people just cannot have a conversation. Some people just cannot be told anything. You just can't have a conversation with people that disagree with you constantly and that do not want to hear your opinion. And that's just the reality. People just want you dead. People no longer want to chat. There is so much violence now within the streets. It's daily. Even in France, a city nearby, like 40 minutes away from where I live, which I absolutely fucking hate because it's full of leftists, and my ex went over there. And from there on, it all went downhill from the moment she started her studies, and she surrounded herself with a bunch of leftists that actually danced upon the death of Jean-Marie Le Pen, which is what the fuck? How do you fucking dance upon someone's death? And then I'm the one being labeled a fucking liar and a manipulator. It's insanity. And then when you're trying to talk about it, when you're trying to mention these things, when you're trying to look into the news, into all this, and you're bringing all these dramatic events up, you're labeled stuff. You're called names because you're just pointing out something that actually happened. You're just being called a liar. You're being called a manipulator because people cannot even face the fucking truth. It is very disturbing. Enraging. It makes me so insanely upset. I do not get how we can live like this anymore. I do not understand. I do not want to live like this. I've been wanting to off myself for days, for weeks. I just can't with this anymore. It's too painful. And I know I'm French. I know it has nothing to do with my country. I don't really cry whenever people die. I've had people in my family die, which I didn't really know that much. Yes, I was sad because I wouldn't be happy at someone's death, but I wouldn't be crying necessarily. Same would happen for a leftist, like Jean-Luc Mélenchon, right? If he had to die in France, I wouldn't be laughing. I wouldn't be dancing. I wouldn't be doing these things that leftists do. I would be sad. Maybe I would be crying because someone that a lot of leftists believed in died. And people can't seem to wrap their heads around this, and people call me a liar for this. I just do think it's sad when someone dies. And I don't fucking know, man. It's so disturbing. I don't even know how to react to these things anymore. To these people calling me names, calling people names, insulting you of racist, misogynist, whichever kind of whichever kind of name you can come up with anymore. Like there's so much stuff you can call someone now that's offensive. That's an insult because they're offended by something you've said, which was based in facts and reality. It's I don't fucking know, man. It just makes me so sad. And all I really wish you say is, uh, to every single American that just crosses by and just maybe sees this video, I'd just like to say that, well, thank you for staying strong if you are trying to stay strong, and please don't give up the way I slightly kind of am for friends. Please do your best. Please talk about stuff, even if it's dangerous, even if it seems risky. I know it's scary, but you have to talk about these things because otherwise, if there's no conversation, well, you're just not helping what Charlie defended. And Charlie wanted to be remembered as someone of faith and nothing else. While I believe we should remember Charlie for both that and his fight, which is freedom of speech and and the ability to debate with someone you disagree with. And please, for the love of Christ, even if I am not a Christian, please, for the love of Christ, fight and talk about these things and don't give up and hang on to that. And as Charlie said, if you really want to make things go forward, please marry someone, stay faithful to them, and have children. And if you can't really have that, then it's an absolute tragedy because sadly it's the reality of what men deal with nowadays. Even women, I know there are a lot of conservative women. Most conservative women can't really find men anymore because uh even men are starting to not starting, I guess. Even men, a lot of men are like that now. That are so indoctrinated that they just do not want to hear any of it. And a lot of women are trying to build something up, and then they just learn that someone that they like either ends up dead or gets married to someone else, and the world, every single time, the world feels small because whenever you are a conservative or anything else, any minority, I guess, because it's really what it is nowadays. It's a minority. Conservatives are a minority, I believe. Maybe not in NA, right? But in France, it is. Whenever you try to meet someone with your own values, you just can't find any of them. You can't. It doesn't happen. Or if you do, they're already taken, already married, or something like that. And then it makes sense that whenever, even if you did find someone and you'd get betrayed like that, the way I did, it makes sense to me that you'd be sad and that you wouldn't really want to necessarily move on. I know a lot of people say move on, do something else, get over it. It's just not me, man. It's just not the way I am. I'm just not built for this. Maybe I'm too emotional, maybe I'm too kind, maybe, sure, I don't care. It's just the way I am. I'm not going to change the way I believe, the way I think just for a bunch of people to see me succeed in whatever kind of meaningless relationships, whatever kind of meaningless uh, uh career I'd be doing. I don't want any of that. I want something meaningful. I want to build something meaningful with someone meaningful. I don't want to do that ever again because every single time I try to do so, I get betrayed. I get backstabbed. Basically, is what I get. And this is what happens to people like Charlie as well, especially to people like Charlie, because I'm mourning, I'm complaining, I'm victimizing myself. I'm not doing much to move on because, as I said, I don't really want to move on anymore. However, Charlie is a visionary. Charlie was a visionary, and he still is throughout his legacy and throughout all the young people and elderly as well that do follow him around the planet. All these people that will keep his legacy burning and echoing throughout the centuries, because I certainly hope that it will happen, because Charlie would have probably become a president one day if he kept going the way he went. Thing is, he was way too kind, and he, I don't know, man. There's just so much to say. I'm getting confused and lost in my words. Like I don't even remember what I was talking like a minute ago. Whatever. I just wish for everyone to be healthy. If you are a Christian or a religious person in general, remain faithful to your own beliefs. Remain faithful to your uh your divine books, I guess. Remain faithful to that, but also remember that you are all humans. This is the agnostic in me speaking, I guess. Remember all that you are humans, and that some of the sacred texts that you may find around the world are partially written by humans as well, trying to translate or interpret something that is godly and that cannot be technically interpreted. And so you have to know that if there is a God, and if there is one or multiple or none, whichever way, we have free will given to us. We have the ability to make moral choices. We have something that makes us different from other animals, which is moral and compassion. And not really compassion, because I guess a lot of animals have that too, but just morality in general is one thing that just makes us different. The ability to make choices and decide upon stuff that not really for survival, but just for the greater good. Whereas a lot of animals are just making decisions for their own survival. These decisions are just both for survival, but also mostly because of faith and because of what you believe in and what you believe is right. This is what makes us different from the other animals. This is what makes humans humans. You have a sense of morality, and please try to be faithful to that and follow your own principles, and try to voice these opinions, and try to meet with people that do share these opinions, because we are very few around the world, and we are all probably feeling very much lonely. Leftists are feeling lonely, right wingers are feeling lonely, maybe not centrists, because especially in France, at least, centrists kind of gather every every vote from both the left and the right. But like most people in general do feel lonely in the end. At the end of the day, people feel lonely, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And there's plenty of songs that I'd like to link. If there is stuff that I have to link, I will do so in the pinned comments probably, or in the description, or maybe both. Um that being said, thank you for listening. If you are not French, if you do not know me, I probably won't do that again unless this really gets some attention. Then maybe yes, I will talk about it, because I would like people to just holy fucking shit. Oh my god, something fell, scared the shit out of me. I would like people to connect with each other, and oh my god, I would like people to really connect with each other, and if this video does get some attention, then sure, I will make it again. But in general, this is probably the one and only that I'll be making. Hopefully, if no one else gets brutally assassinated like this. And please forgive me for my accent. For my accent. Oh my god, I haven't spoken in English in quite a bit. And you have from France a bunch of love sent to everyone that doesn't really get any. Um, So that means every conservative. That means very much also every minority, everyone that feels lonely, both in the United States, in Russia, in Ukraine, in China, in Thailand, in Mongol as well, in Mongolia as well, everywhere in the entire planet. If you do feel lonely, well, just know that you are probably not alone in what you believe. All you have to do is really try to talk about it, and we have the chance to have the internet, and if you do have access to internet, then that's perfect. Try to make communities. Um, for that matter, I'm trying to build and create a dating website, and I want to make it free, and I want to make it complete. Maybe not free in a way because then I guess I'd be getting bots, but I'm trying to make a deeply meaningful. I know it sounds cocky, and that's what a lot of people say they would try to do, right? But I really want to make something that actually works, and I want people to just go on an app and maybe pay, maybe if it is paid, maybe like pay 1 month, like $5 or something, and then just stop and go away, never come back because they found what they wanted, or like a community, or a wife or a husband. I want to make that kind of website happen. My website is basically finished. The only things that I have missing is basically algorithm, talking with banks, making a marketing campaign, advertising. I mean, and database is stuff that I don't really know how that works at all, and I'm just kind of confused. And I'm alone working on this. I maybe won't ever get to release this, but if I do release this dating website, I sincerely hope that a lot of people can really build something similar in various other domains and build communities that have people thinking the same thing. I believe we should stop with the narcissism. I believe we should stop with individualism. I believe we should stop with uh, selfishness, lust. Uh, I believe we should really be helping each other. And oh my god, I believe, yeah, I believe all that, and I sincerely hope I never get to make that kind of video ever again. And I'm sorry if I got upset and stuff. If I got a little heated. Oh my god. I'm not really on any social networks. I do have Discord if you wanna hop on there. It's probably in the description of my channel. If not, it's on the description of the main channel. It's in French though, so if you do want to talk with me, share your story or anything, you can do so. Don't get too personal though, because data is shared on these various platforms. Don't get too personal to anyone. It's very sensitive data that you could share. But if you do need a friend and someone to talk with, I'm there. I can do so. I can share my pain with you. You can share your pain with mine. I can do that with as much people as I can physically try to do so. And all you have to do, if you really want that, you can actually message me on Discord. I don't really have any other social networks. I'm not really too much of a social guy on social media. And you also have my comments, I guess. You can do that on the comments. But it's public though. And yeah, if you do want that, you can check out my Discord, I guess. That being said, I believe that's it. Oh yeah, if you do want to talk on the Discord channel alone, I'd have to be notified within the comments below, because if there, I don't really know how much visibility this video might get, and if there is a lot of people, I'm a little bit alone in managing all this, and if there is many people coming to the Discord server, please don't really all talk at once. You have to check the little checkbox down to have access to the other channels as well, and then be able to talk. If you do want to hop on and talk with people, please do so in DMs first. And then if I do get a lot of messages, I will open up a private section within the Discord for people to talk with, and about various subjects and political beliefs and pain and stuff like that, and really get someone to talk with. because I think there's a lot of that we are missing today. We lack, people say we lack hatred, and we lack, we are too kind and too gentle. I believe it's quite the other way around. We lack a lot of compassion, and we lack a lot of understanding and a lot of talking. And this is one of the most uh, cleaving points of right wing politics in general, is that some of us want to cut contact with the others and stop talking and just act and make decisions, and some other people just want to try to still engage with conversation and talk with people and try to get compromises. This is what Charlie Kirk believed in. This is also what I believe in, and I sincerely hope this is what happens for NA in the future, and I also hope this is what happens to the Europe as well, in general, and to Asia too, because this issue is shifting slightly to the east as time goes on. Anyway, um, I love you all. If you believe in God, keep praying for Charlie and for all the others that are in pain and that died for everyone's sins. And if you are not religious, keep talking with people. Keep voicing your opinion. Keep talking about these issues and stay strong as much as you can. And I'll try to do so, even though these past months have been very difficult for me. And yeah, there you go. See you all, and maybe next time. I hope not, though.